Terry Sutherland, eXp Realty. Today we will be completing our series, City of Galveston Homebuyer Assistance Program. This is for the $14,500 down payment and closing cost assistance under this program. The application process: to determine program eligibility, the buyers will need to submit a formal application packet with the items on the pre-approval checklist form. When you have all of the required documents, you will need to contact the Grants and Housing Department to schedule an appointment to turn in the application packet. After the Grants and Housing Department has determined your income eligibility, you will need to submit the items on the underwriting requirements checklist form. Upon meeting the underwriting requirements, you will need to schedule a homebuyer education course. This information must be submitted before a closing is scheduled. The application packet consists of several documents, some provided as forms from this booklet, some from the mortgage lender, and finally some items that the buyer must provide from their own personal documents or records. After a completed application packet is submitted, the Grants and Housing Department will thoroughly review the documents and determine if the applicant meets eligibility requirements. Walk-ins will not be permitted. During the appointment, the application packet will be briefly reviewed to ensure that the entire minimum required documents are present. During the appointment and brief review, if the application packet is incomplete, the entire packet will be returned to the buyers along with the instructions on what documents are missing and who and where the documents will need to be obtained. Once the additional missing documents are obtained, the buyer will need to contact the Grants and Housing Department to schedule another appointment to submit a complete application packet to ensure immediate processing and allocation of the limited funds. Generally, the review is completed within 72 hours, excluding weekends and holidays, from the time the complete packet is received. In some instances, buyers may be asked to confirm certain circumstances within the household. This confirmation may include providing the program with additional documentation that is needed to confirm program eligibility. After program eligibility has been determined, the Grants and Housing Department will issue a preliminary approval or denial letter that will be sent by U.S. mail to the buyer. At this time, the HAP allocation will be set aside in the qualifying applicant's name, and buyers can proceed with the purchase of an eligible housing unit. If you have not received an income and eligibility pre-approval letter, then you have not been pre-approved to receive assistance through this program. Please do not give notice of your move to your current landlord until you are sure of your closing date. HAP requests that you plan for a minimum of 8 weeks between the time you're pre-approved by HAP and the time that you actually close on the mortgage loan. The allotment for expenditure is 180 days from the date that the application is pre-approved and an allocation is set aside. The buyers must enter into a purchase agreement and close on the loan for the home. In the event that the property is not transferred to the buyers by the specified date, the allocation will be lost and the applicant's file will be closed. The buyers must reapply to the program, which requires a repeat of the application process and a submission of a new application and income documentation. Appeals concerning the eligibility decision are required to be written in a written form with a cover letter requesting reconsideration of eligibility and contain a minimum of 3 additional items of proof substantiating the reason the application packet should be reconsidered. The appeal should be forwarded by U.S. mail to the City of Galveston's Grants and Housing Department, HAP Appeal, 2508 Ball Avenue, Galveston, Texas 77550. The interim director of grants and housing will have 10 days from receipt to reply to the appeal. Applicants will be notified by mail of the final decision. Preparing for closing. Upon review and approval of all the necessary documents, the Grants and Housing Department will issue a final funding letter to the lender, the buyer, and the agent. At this time, a HAP deed of trust and promissory note will be prepared, and the assistance funds will be requested from the City of Galveston's Finance Department. The Grants and Housing staff will attend the closing. The program assistance funds check will be presented to the closing agent. The buyers will sign the program deed of trust and promissory note and all other documents required for the mortgage loan and for the legal transfer of the property into the buyer's name. After all the documents are signed, they will be filed with the Galveston County Clerk, who will officially record and file them in the county records. The buyers will receive a copy of the documents in 4 to 8 weeks. Let's review. Number 1, always start with a mortgage lender who will determine how much buying power you have and how much money you can borrow to purchase your home with. Number 2, always work with a licensed real estate agent, one who is familiar with the HAP Homebuyer Assistance Program. Number 3, schedule the appointment to turn in your application packet to ensure that you have all the required documents ready and in packet form when submitting for HAP assistance. What's next? Once you have received the eligibility and allocation letter from HAP, you can continue in the home buying process. Prepare to make an offer to purchase the home that you want to buy. Number 5, ensure that the home is safe, structurally sound, and a healthy environment for you and your family. Number 6, wait until the HAP required repairs, if applicable, have been completed. Then contact the Grants and Housing Department to re-inspect the property, confirming that all repairs have been completed as required. Number 7, in preparation for closing, you will need to allow for plenty of time to read through all of the documents that you will be signing. And finally, the last section of this program, definition of gross annual income and net family assets to determine program eligibility. Under this portion of this program, I'm going to have you read through the guidelines because a bunch of this is definitions, codes, so forth, and it's without looking at the printed document, it's kind of hard to kind of digest this information. So it will tell you in these guidelines what is included in annual income, what is excluded in income, and also family assets, what's included and what is excluded. So read through that. If you have any questions or concerns, address that to me either by email or phone call, or address that to the City of Galveston Grants and Housing Department for clarification. Thank you for your time. This is money that is available to anyone wanting to purchase a house. So I'm hoping that about 100 people will submit an application. Be glad to work with you and help you in any way that I can. Thank you for your time.